Okay, so because of my lack of editing skills, some of these bits and clips are going to be a little disjointed and a little long. I may have covered some of this already. Some of this may be redundant. But we just went through this little, I called it an odyssey. It was more like a fail. We set the shoulders on some cases. Hang on a second, that camera is not picking up for some reason. What's wrong with it? There we go, got me. For some reason, I don't know why I went off on some reason. Our findings were that I need to go back to the way I have been doing it for these many years. Basically, I did not achieve the standards that I'm used to. I didn't achieve anything that now I know Waymore says you lower your standards and get you some sleep. That's an awesome line and an awesome song. But in the meantime, Willie's sitting over there going, Waymore, it ain't about the money, it ain't about making the song, it's about the art, it's about doing it right. And it really is. It really is. It is about coming up with a better, I know there's a better way. I was experimenting with a way. So what's going to happen here is we're going to take these, it's all going to digress because I'm going to go show another Gordy video. My first Gordy videos, and I say Gordy video because, and I have to be careful with that. I hope Gordy doesn't come down on me like a ton of bricks. But I'm going to go in and index a couple of barrels. I got this is a 6BR that I had built one time when I had, oh man, I went on an odyssey to try to beat the PPC. And it was like all good learning experiences. It was a wonderful, wonderful, awesome learning experience, but I didn't learn any of the things that I expected to learn. I went out there to learn how to beat this Russian cartridge. Mister, I know how to build it. I know how to, I'll buy the right people, we'll get a gun. So this is one of a series of things I had done in 6BR. This is a 13 3/4 twist 6BR. I was asking the wrong question. It's not, right now, I can hang with a PPC using the BR cartridge, BR brass, because of what I've learned about how to make cases. Or at least I can hang as far as I can tell. But that's the wrong question. In short range bench rest, 100, 200, we have an entire industry built around making the PPC do what it does. The BR wouldn't change the world. Until somebody comes up with some new tech, until somebody comes up with something that really, maybe a new way to make jackets, or sintered bullets, or it still might be people, but 22, I mean there's some things in 22, super light 30s. I don't know. All I'm saying is until there's something new, trying to match the 6PPC is just asking the wrong question. I could go on a long diatribe. I learned so much with these 6BRs, but they took me a whole different way. 1993, I'm pushing 105 grain bullets at almost 3,000 feet per second, and I told people about it, and they're like, "You are an idiot. That's not even that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard." All the 6BR is a poor red-headed stepchild to the king of the roost. All true. But in that odyssey, the 6BR went to an entirely different place. So now I've got some of these. This here just happens to be long chambered 6BR to match PPC. The guy who did the chambering work back then didn't have lettering equipment. I got writing all over that's been sitting up on the shelf. It's useless to me. So I'm 4 PPC reamers into my odyssey with the PPC after having used successful reamers from big names in the industry, knowing what the PPC does. So I'm going to chamber this into another PPC, but I'm going to continue with my nutting experience. It's going to work because this barrel is stupidly big and heavy and large, and it's no good for anything in PPC. This is an abortion. This is it's like an 8-pound barrel chambered in 6BR, which is not my favorite as farmer cartridge. I can make the 6x47 shoot right with it now, which is basically a real dasher instead of the, making it out of the BR brand. So I've just talked myself into the fact that I'm going to take this and I'm going to play with another nutting experiment. This is a barrel made by a guy named Benjamin. It's a Benjamin barrel, match grade barrel. It's shot really well. It's a gain twist. It's an 8 to 7.5, I think, gain, and it's roached. I think I'm going to take this to make the fire. I shouldn't say it's roached, because who knows? I might get this thing redone. And one of the things about it is this is a chromoly barrel. Wow, it looks spectacular. They wear differently. Yeah, it's got 1,800 rounds logged onto it that I know of. And it's been chambered several times. But we're going to chamber this. And one of these will be a Fireform barrel. Here's another one. This is a 243 Ackley. And this doesn't have... There's a few things wrong with this barrel. Number one, the flutes on it are very interesting. I'm really excited to put this in and time it to find out just how straight this bad boy is. It's a Krieger blank. Been fluted by, and I'll throw this name out, Art Pachia, because he came up with this, Time Precision. He flutes this with a fiber blade. Water, low heat, low speed. He makes PPC barrels this way, and they shoot and win. He's a 22 guy, but he does everything. But the one thing is, because when I ordered this, he did what I asked him to. Here's a big old meaty, probably a 900 series, and I had him turn it down for a 5/8 break. See, I would never do that. I haven't picked this up and shot it since I pulled the brake off one day because I was studying the inside of brakes, and I looked at every brake that I had. I took this one off to look at it, and I went, oh, yeah, about that? I need to cut that off before I ever put another round through this. It's probably got 300, 400, 500 rounds of 243 Ackley through it from shooting squirrels. It was a squirrel killer machine back in the day, but the problem with the 243 Ackley is I could never get the brass to last. I could never, not at the velocities I wanted. Basically, the 243 Ackley wouldn't do anything the 6BR wouldn't do. Because by the time it got up to where it was, going over 3,000, which is really beating the 6BR, I was primer pockets were going south, shoulders weren't resizing right. A long story. Maybe someday, as I said, if people are interested. Some of this I'm doing for me. 20, 30 hours of it I'm doing for documentation for an entirely separate project. Part of it I'm doing so that when somebody has a question about something, I can say, hey, here's a video to go look. Right now we're going through this whole Gordy thing with how to index, if index, this whole indexing barrel things, and I feel like I've gone through that learning curve to where now I have something meaningful to add to the stew. So that's really what started the channel part of it. But every time I start down a road to express a point, right now, really, the only reason I'm doing this is because I got a bunch of brass cases that I've just screwed up. I'm trying to implement a brass turning method that a guy named Jackie Schmidt uses showed on Bench Central. And I failed miserably. I mean, they're usable cases of it, or I could probably even win, but compared to what I'm used to, I failed miserably. I should probably set up one of the other. It doesn't matter though. I don't even care to show you this. You can see neck turning videos all day long. You can see most of this stuff all day long. This isn't about bringing in still shots and selling a bunch of foo-for-all. This is about how to think, how to isolate the issues. These barrels are all here because I had the issues poorly isolated back when I had them built, and I just haven't got around to burning them up, turning them into something else yet. Well, now I have reason to. I'm going to build fire forming barrels and fun stuff out of them. I'm going to build one into a nutting project for a 6 PPC because I've got another complete. I just swore off nuts 2 or 3 days ago because I did a video, and during the making of this video I found something about nutted barrels that just blew my doors off. I went off. The problem is I made 10 or 12 hours of video. with the music playing, because I live down here and I have got, it's because I live in life, you know. Well, when I decided to publish some of this stuff, to throw it out into the public eye, I find out all that's going to do is get shut down. So on a private channel, I may decide to try send some of them out, but I've got a bunch of unusable footage of me setting up barrels in the lathe. Unusable only because Waymore's playing in the background. So I haven't decided what to do. I bought a bunch of software. I don't have time to go through the whole editing thing. This is like stand in front of the camera and then go to work, go to play. I'm playing with this stuff, guys. I mean, this is so awesome. You can't even. This is living the American dream. This is why I'm putting it out there in the real world. It's because I'm living the. I'm blessed, absolutely blessed to be living the American dream. And I want my kids to have that same opportunity, and my grandkids and their grandkids and everybody else's. There is no elitism in me at all. This is for everybody, people. Everybody. And the thing is, as I go out and about on YouTube, that changes my whole set of standards again, because I look at, there's some good stuff on there. I can't say enough about Destin from Smarter Every Day, people like Hickok 45, people like Paul Harrell, people like Tal Fledermaus, a guy that just thinks guns are cool and stuff. What did he do? He went to some bench rest matches. He's not a shooter. He's not. I don't even know if he owns guns. I don't know the guy from Adam, but somebody's like, hey, check out what he filmed here. The slow-mo guys. Through the years, we've had people like Mythbusters, TV shows trying to prove gun points. You know, can you shoot through a scope? Bullet up in the air, going to come down, going to hurt you. I have to use this kind of stuff because I teach Hunter's Ed. Upstairs, one of the main segments of my Hunter's Ed course is, okay, real life people, what's the safe way to point a gun? If that gun's going to go off, down, up, side, just get a whole thing. Straight up in the air is 100% safe because it's that bullet will go up, it cannot kill you falling out of the sky. Well, Mythbusters spent 2 or 3 episodes trying to prove that because they're too stupid to. Boy, there I go again. Formulate the question, which also means formulate the problem, which also means formulate the test. Stupid is the wrong word. They try hard. But there's a few things that bug me. One of them is this, when people say, well, yeah, smarter guys than you and I have said. Who's smarter than you and I? Because if there's anyone out there that's smarter than you and I want to meet him. I'm not smart, you're not smart, but we're as smart as anybody else, all right? We're capable of learning. So they formulated some really, I will say stupid here, some really stupid tests regarding guns. And I haven't watched a lot of them, I don't watch TV. But I have gone on YouTube and watched a few of their episodes. Someone says, hey, they did a gun thing. Hey, they shot through a scope again. Hey, they blew this up again. Yeah, cool. We blew up a lot of stuff too. Making fireballs. People, making movie fireballs is so hard. Somebody says, hey, I want a fireball as big as a house. Okay, yeah, we can do that. Give us money. Woo! Making fireballs is hard. Great learning, awesome. Hitting things at 1,000 yards is hard. But now to go out and get the information is equally hard. So I skip a little bit. And I've been doing this since those 80s when I got that, or 90s when I got that cell phone with the free. I cut right to the chase. I know for a fact that there's 10, 20, 30, 50 people out there who are winning. It's like, I don't know anything about NASCAR or drag race. A guy named John Force. For some reason I know the name John Force. Like he's an expert at getting in a big, huge car and going really fast. Quarter miling and eighth miling, I think. But if I got into quarter miling and eighth miling, I'd be calling John Force. I'd be looking at what he's doing. If he's winning, maybe not now. You guys are all going, yeah, John Force, all that nowadays. Hey, I'm using this to illustrate a point, people. I'm not trying to be culturally relevant because I am not. I don't know what the Kardashians did yesterday and I don't care. I think Brexit is cool, but that is for entirely different things. The fact that Meg or somebody left the White House, or what do they call it over there? Anyway, one of them royals just puked on her legacy. Good, awesome. America, come over here. But the point is, getting good information, accessing good information has always been hard. It's easier now than it ever was. But we're going to formulate, we're taking this another direction here. It's gone from making some cases. I'm going to show you how to make some cases. We're going to learn together. Now I'm going to be building some barrels. I'm going to be barreling up some stuff. Like I was saying though, this particular one's got some things wrong. I would never again. This is just an abomination. There are stresses in this steel that are relieved when you cut it down this far. The end of this thing is belled like a blunderbuss. It can't not be. I know that I can walk out right now. Maybe one of these days I'll do it. Of course, this gun's got some hours on it, so there might be other reasons. But I have gauging equipment now. I can go take gauging bushings and find the one that fits, and it'll jam up somewhere right in this area. I've done this before. I've clamped down with a lathe chuck hard enough that I'm jamming my bushings. All things that are just so much fun to learn. As we totter off into our dotage, let's do it passionately, people. Let's slide in kicking and screaming and having a great time, because my grandpa always said people die in bed, and he was a big man that lived old, and that's as rare. I mean, when you're 6.5 feet tall and you live well into the end of your century, that's a rare thing. And a lot of that has to do with attitude, and it has to do with the fact that we need these passions, and I want to keep this passion alive and accessible. And one of the things that I was watching, one of the YouTubers, and he said his odyssey with guns started with his uncle such and such. Well, that's awesome. There are 3 or 4 or 5 people, other than my parents, my immediate family, that were seminal to me. They were people who changed my life. Not because they were brilliant or because they changed my life because they offered me a different way to look at the world, to look at life. That's what we're here for. Try to share this stuff amongst ourselves, but the biggest thing is to develop a passion and interest, and to realize that this is fun and rewarding. And some people go think they're, play chess. I know how to play chess. I know all the rules. I play well enough. Any of you that actually play chess might know what that means. I know all the rules. That means I can play better than 99.9% of the people in the world. Not that it's limiting, but I'd rather do this than devote all that time. I'll play the occasional game. Shooting pool. I'm a pretty good pool shooter. Right now I enjoy watching the pros play and enjoying and trying to figure out what it is that they did. I have a pool table, man. Another thing that you can go off into the sunset with. Learning till you die. Passionate till you die. And thereby forestall that, or even if you don't forestall that dying, at least you have a lot more fun getting there. So that's where we're at, and that's why we're doing this stuff.